think it was Batman versus Superman, or was it Man of Steel? It was Man of
It
Steel,
came out
right?
at the same time as Man of Steel, I think it was.
Man of Steel, and there were two films that couldn't be more opposite, even though they've come from the same medium. Where you had one that was just more about flash bang wallop, and then you had one that had flash bang wallop but had substance behind it. And that's one of the things that once again you get in Infinity War. Like, we're so pumped and amped for this that we just you want to go to the cinema and you just want to see Thanos getting pummeled. But then it deals with, like, you know, the emotional aspects of everything first. It reminds you of the heart, and then says, okay, cool, we're not going to take this away and just give you action. We're going to give you everything you want to see, but realize there's a consequence and there's a reason behind all of this. That's one of the good things that I loved about this movie. And like I said, this is something that's been continued throughout the whole franchise, but you rarely feel it in this one, especially in the first 15 minutes. You know what? The first 30 seconds, you're just like, holy shit. And then after the first 10 minutes or 10-15 minutes, there's a really, really poignant scene that teaches you that be careful what you wish for. And now that I'm even talking about it, it makes me even think that maybe when, you know, the Russos were directing this and when McFeely and the other guy wrote this was almost like a, you know, well, a big shut the fuck up, sit down, and just let us tell you the story, to the audience. There's a reason why they only gave 15 minutes of the trailer, 15 minutes of the movie away in the trailer, because that first 15 minutes is going to blow your mind in the film, but then whatever comes else after that is like you're not going to be prepared, but it's going to be an amazing roller coaster. But the thing is, I'm trying to say. I can't even go to too much detail without spoiling it. But
I know what you mean. Yeah, we'll save that for when we do our spoilers chat next week. But I mean, suffice to say, basically, listeners, that this is a movie that will definitely subvert a lot of your expectations. There's a lot of things that I think we all kind of thought we were going to see in the movie when we were going in because of, you know, trailers and because of different things that we'd seen and read online. We all kind of, you know, whether we meant to or not, we all kind of formed these preconceived ideas of what was actually going to happen when we saw the movie.
I mean, sorry, I got a couple right. I'm just saying, because I'm that fucking guy. I'm narcissistic as hell. Like, I got things right. I don't care.
Yeah, no, I mean, we all got certain things right, but there was also certain things we got very wrong that we thought that was
I got things right.
Didn't do, you know? You know, that's to the script writers' great credit. What they did was they managed to take everybody's preconceived ideas and just flip them, which, you know, Richard was mentioning, there's a very key scene early on in the movie, a very key sequence early on in the movie. And, you know, the sequence is set up in such a way that you think it's going to go down a certain road, and then all of a sudden it goes left, and you're like, oh, where does that leave us? And, you know, what's great about that scene is we're left with the characters also in the same position going, oh, okay, where does that leave us? You know, and then and it's how things play out from that decision that is kind of the underlying strength of Avengers Endgame, is that aside from, you know, all of the spectacle, aside from all of the things that you expect to see and the big action set pieces and the huge drama and the costumes and everything else, is underneath all of that there's these little kind of human moments and human elements and human things that happen that kind of remind you why, you know, we love these characters and why we have loved them for the decade that we have. And you know, it just proves what a great movie this is as well. So yeah, we absolutely do recommend you go and see it. If you haven't seen it yet, why are you here? Like, go and see the movie. We're going to do a big spoilers discussion, but we're going to do that next week because we want to try and give everybody, or as many people as possible, the opportunity to actually see the movie. I know some of you who started watching this live stream when we started earlier on were saying you hadn't seen it yet. So this is why we didn't want to go into any details. So
this is for you, you slow bastards. Get into the cinema, man. Come on.
Pull your bloody finger out, mate. But yeah, the idea was that we wanted to do something that would give you our thoughts on what we think about the movie, but was not a deep dive. So I said next week on our usual podcast channels, we'll be doing our deep dive. That means we're going to have probably a 2-hour discussion. The first hour will just be our spoiler thoughts on the movie. And then the second hour will be your questions, listener questions, and it will be us discussing where we think things go from here. So for more details on that, stick around. Make sure you follow us on Instagram if you aren't following us already, and we'll keep you updated as to when that is happening. But in the meantime, we're probably going to have to cut this one now because we've been talking a lot longer than we should have done anyway. But thanks to all of you who joined us. That was really cool to see some of you there.
Thank you very much.
This is our first time doing an Instagram live kind of chat like this. So if we were a bit slow responding to you and stuff, apologies. Like, we're two old men, like, as you can see, like, we're old. It takes us a while for the brain cells to kind of figure these things out, but we will. And once we figure it out, hopefully we can be more interactive with you and we can get more involved in chats with you and stuff like that when you're here. But otherwise, that'll do it for us.
Debbie, thanks a lot for the love. Jeff, thanks a lot for the love. Spread the word. If you know any other people that may be interested in listening to this type of thing, let them know, man. Like, listen, I'll put it out there now. Between me and Jay, we are shit. So if you come and listen to us, you're gonna get a bang for your buck. Call me narcissistic, or just call me so I don't care. Just come and listen, and and it'll be worth it. So yeah.
No doubt. So I said thank you everyone who's been listening and interacting with us. We really appreciate it. And as I said, we will try and do this more. If you like this, cool. We'll try and do more of these kinds of discussions going forward so that you guys can get involved and stuff with us as well. If you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed to us on our podcast channels. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud. You can also find us on Acast as well. And we have a YouTube channel as well, which is where we actually do our live recordings and stuff like that. So you can go and check that out too. Otherwise, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. What are you doing over there?
I don't. I told you, we're old. I'm an old man. I've just found something. I'm just like, God damn.
You look like something out of that terrible Gods of Egypt movie.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, yes. Please do follow us. As said, on our podcast channels. You'll be able to hear us. We're kind of managing to put out a podcast one every 14 days at the moment, which, given everything that's going on, isn't too bad for us. So, please do stick with us and have a listen to those. And let us know what you think, man. Give us some feedback. We're out because Richard's just bored now and pressing buttons on his phone. So
no. They got a Spider-Man one. How do we use this? Yeah, I'm going to figure out how to use. Listeners, when you guys next, can you hear that? Yeah. Okay, guys, we gotta go. We gotta go. All right. Okay,
people. Thanks a lot for joining us, man, and we appreciate it. Peace out.
Okay. See you later. Bye.